Alright, so let's jump into sitemaps. This is really a strong organizational tool or method that you can use in developing and organizing your website, but there's also an opportunity for this to increase your search engine optimization when search engines like Google will go through and crawl your website to figure out what information you're presenting through this site and how it can better help people using things like Google whenever they put in a search and hopefully what they're searching for, um, your website pops up with the information that you've presented. So let's dive into it. And I think that a lot of your situations and people beginning creating a website is an organization. How do you take all the different ideas and all of the information that you're presenting or hope to present your website viewers with, and how do you organize that information so it makes sense to them and they can find the information as quickly and efficiently as possible? So think about your habits. How many pages, how many clicks do you go into a website before you give up? So if you're looking for something specifically, um, how many clicks does it take you before you're like, no, this isn't what I need, and you back out and Google something else or go to a different, go back to that search engine and click on a different link? You're not going to get very many clicks in. The average person might be one or two clicks and then they're going to lose interest. So it's important to think about organizing your website, and sitemaps can help. So let's take a look at this example. Let's say that you're creating a website for someone who is a meat market, and they told you that they want to talk about the ribeye steaks or pork chops. They also want to talk about how they have prime dry aged steaks and wet aged steaks that they deliver anywhere in the United States. They also want to talk about their pricing, but they also need people to know how to get to the store. They have some really cool videos on how to grill your meat. They want to talk about them a little bit and what makes them different as a company. So you have all these ideas. How do you put them in a fashion, in a format that will make sense to Google or to your search engines, and will make sense to somebody who's navigating the website so that they can find the information that they need in the fewest clicks as possible? And that is a sitemap. So what is a sitemap? So Google's example, it is a file, or in your case, more of a visual document where you provide information about the different pages, even videos or other files that you might have on your site, and the relationship between them. So there's two different aspects of a sitemap. One is this visual-based organization format that you'll be expected to do for this class and for your website. There's another one that is more of a coding element, and so it's providing the information of the different pages, the different information, the different images or videos up front to Google, saying here is this document. We've already mapped out the entire website. There's really no need for you to spend more time crawling through the website. Here it is for you. That's a little bit more advanced. All I need you to do is to create a visual-based sitemap. So what does that look like? Here's a great example of what that looks like. We begin with our home, which will be home, and then under that you need to put index.html. So we need the HTML names for each of our pages. So under that, we have the idea of a navigation bar probably. So that includes blogs, events, about, join us, and sponsors. So those will definitely be main elements on the, or main links on a navigation bar. So the next organization is this idea of subpages. So you click on blogs and you have, you hover over blogs, and you have some submenus, so video tutorials, lifestyle posts. Same thing with events. You can hover over events and you have event calendar and attendance guidelines. You can see that they made that the idea of a hover over and a drop menu for those first two links. Now on About Us, Join Us, and Sponsor, if you click on About, it'll take you to a page that provides 3 additional links, one to a history page, one to a mission page, and one to a press page. And then Join Us, same thing. takes us to our team page, volunteer page. And then the sponsor, it looks like the way that they organize this example, those could probably be drop-down menus as well. So you can kind of create your own schema on how you want to organize things. If you want to have drop-down menus from your navigation bar, great, organize it and maybe color code it to indicate that. But every single link that you have on your website and every page that you have on your website or video needs to be represented on the sitemap. So let's take a look at some tools that you can use to accomplish this. One tool, there's a 30-day free trial for it. I've used it a couple of times, but here we go. And so this one is slickplan.com, and so it allows you to type in your different pages and provide some type of organization for them. So here's home, and allows you to do things like add a link to it, add notes, add content, change the colors and everything. So it really helps you to provide a really clean looking organization to your sitemap. So I know, let's go back to kind of that meat market example. So I know that they want to talk about their steaks. So we could have a page just for the steaks. And then under that, we definitely need to talk about the prime dry aged steaks. They also provide wet aged steaks. We need to talk about that. We could even talk about cooking, how to cook your steaks. Whoops, I just need to add a page. And then we can add another, let's see, we can add another page, and we know that we need to talk about delivery. We need to talk about directions to the store. So maybe that could be on an About Us page. So on About Us, definitely need directions, probably provide a map. And let's see, what else were some of the elements that they wanted us to talk about? Oh, pricing. Definitely want to talk about pricing. And I believe that on that example we had pork as well. So we could talk about maybe other products. And then on there they definitely want to talk about the pork chops that they have. So you can see how this quickly helps you organize all your information, and this is going to be very beneficial when you're coding your website, so you know exactly what elements and what pages you need to begin with, and where all the information needs to be organized. So go through, take advantage of this. You can also do something very similar in PowerPoint. So you can just create a new slide, and if you go to, I believe it is Smart Art, you can kind of go through and see that some of these in this hierarchy, Smart Art graphic looks very similar to what we're working on. So you can kind of utilize this and manipulate this to get all the information that you need onto your sitemap. So whichever way you want, lots of tools out there. Get on the internet, Google, search around for what works best for you. As always, if you have questions, you can always let me know.